Story time. A party full of people wearing Confederate flag gear just tried to party and eat in our restaurant. Now, when I say a family decked out in Confederate flag gear, they literally had what could have been a 2-year-old baby in a Confederate flag hoodie or whatever. And then under that, he has a Confederate flag onesie on. Like, it is never that deep, ever. And then the other people that had hoodies, hats, all this. And they're sitting in the middle of the restaurant, too, which is just a terrible coincidence.
So there's a Texas Roadhouse restaurant employee there telling a story about what happened to her coworker, who we won't appear on camera, but she's definitely telling his story. So apparently a whole group of Confederate Nazis rolled up into the restaurant, and they were quite loud, quite rude, and wanted but didn't want service. She's telling the whole story there. Let's let her continue.
And to top it off, one of our black servers had to take them because their section buddy was a white girl, but she took the last party and got stiff. I guess it wasn't good. So I guess he had to take it, whatever. So the whole time he's there, he said they're not talking to him. They're not really looking at him. They're inward this, inward that, while he's there at the table, y'all. While he's there at the table. Like, they're not even trying to be quiet. They're not even trying to stop. And this server is a server that's always happy, loud, outgoing, making sure everybody's good. He'll be like, you need help? You need help? Like, he'll literally go out of his way to help. And when he got quiet, like, we knew something was, like, wrong. So we're like, where's he at? Where's he at? And all this. And this man, he ended up going outside crying. And this is a grown-ass man. Like, he ended up going outside crying.
So much more should have been done before. Arthur and Mandy, who was that waiter who came around, who then went outside, emotional over this entire situation. There's Arthur, who didn't, I guess, and again, as I point out, didn't appear in this story that his coworker is telling. But these are the stories that he was telling to the Daily Beast about his direct interactions. Mandy said that he grabbed the guest's water. This is at the beginning of their interactions, but the man kept rushing to finish his drink to order another, as if he was challenging the waiter, consistently calling him boy, and never making eye contact. He said the rest of the party joined in on the older man's tactics, laughing and snickering throughout. Mandy said that he spent 20 minutes just on getting drinks. They think it's a game, is what he told the Daily Beast. Now they're drinking their drinks as fast as they can, and they're like, hey, boy, I need another one. Mandy's a father of 4, and he said his heart was broken when a 5-year-old child with the group was directed not to speak to him while he served the table. He's laughing. He's engaging with me, is what Mandy explained. Then his mom chastises him in front of me. And she's like, you don't need to talk. He has a job to do. He needs to concentrate. He continued. He said, they can only concentrate on one thing at a time, the older man allegedly added. For me, that was it, is what Mandy then said. That was it for me emotionally, is what he went through. Lastly, they spent like $400 or $500 there at the restaurant. Tried not to leave a tip. Also tried to say something was wrong with their steaks, and then tried to keep that same disgusting food that was wrong. All this just to harass folks because there's literally nothing else that they can do. Last part about this before you jump in here, Jeff. Nani is that coworker of Mandy's, and she had one last part to tell of this interactions and what happened with this management and everything there.
And their bill gets to almost $500, right? Obviously, they're ignoring this man. Obviously, they're not going to give him a tip. We're a server now. You know, we live on our tips. So a couple of us, we got a couple servers around and that like gave in and tipped in because of $500, $400 check. You know, he should have almost gotten $100 off of them, basically. And he still served them. He didn't throw a fit. He didn't do nothing and all that, which props to him. Because I would have been at that table. I would have heard the N-word, and I would have... One thing, to come in what you believe in, I guess, whatever you want to say. I know everybody's not going to see eye to eye on everything. Sure, cool. You want to wear that? Okay. I don't know why. But the fact that you're N-word dropping, all this, all that, they made their kids stop talking to this server, too. You know, the kids, they don't know. They were trying to talk. They were like, shut up, stop talking to him.
Wiggins, Arthur, Mandy is a better man than I am. It wouldn't have gotten anywhere near that far.
Well, we do so much in this country to either sanitize Nazis or tolerate Confederates. And let's be clear about who Confederates are and who those people are. They were wearing the logo and the jerseys and uniforms of a rival country that fought the United States in order to enslave Black people. That young man shouldn't have been subjected to that to begin with. As soon as people came in wearing that stuff, they should have just cut that off, let alone kick them out, but whatever. They should have been provided with a different wait staff so he didn't have to be subjected to that. It shouldn't even have been reached a point where he was called an N-word or just basically dehumanized in front of a child, by the way, talking about, I was about to say, there's a certain term that we use when we talk about like raising children and teaching children what they should and should not do, because I don't know. Education in this country, but I'm not going to use that term because it's been watered down a lot. But yes, I'm going to say this to you. If I can get geeky with you right quick in a very nerdy way, positive reinforcement involves the addition of a reinforcing stimulus following a behavior that makes it more likely that the behavior will occur again in the future. Those people will go back to Texas roadhouses and get their food comped and call all the Black people N-words because they had such a positive experience. They spent $400. They didn't have to pay for all that. They didn't get kicked out. Nobody checked them on their behavior. This is going to keep going because, again, we sanitize Nazis and we tolerate Confederates in this country.
We consistently do, and because we got folks legislating based off of many of these belief systems as well. So, especially when we see something like this, they're like, I can do this. Here, he's just a Black guy. That's all. By the way, juxtapose this to hearing stories historically, recent history, all the way up to this day, I'm sure, where Black folks, a group of 15 Black folks may go into a restaurant. Forget it, it could be 5 Black folks. And guess who doesn't get served? Guess who gets served third and fourth? Guess who gets slow service? So as then Mandy was running drinks for 20 minutes straight to serve this table who didn't deserve his time or his energy at all, I'm not sure why that didn't even happen. I mean, of course, the first proactive thing was get the hell out of here, or I'm calling the cops. And then the next could be just ignoring their asses and see how long they want to sit there with their waters that are sweating out all the ice and how long they want to sit there and hang out then. Again, another aspect of that employee's TikTok, she talked about how the owner left knowing all this was going on, and then other managers had to try and pick up the whole thing and wrap up that interaction with these hateful people in this restaurant. So again, people are asking Texas Roadhouse, what are you guys going to do about this? And that particular owner of that restaurant. So what is it you've done? And do you invite this type of stuff into your establishment? Since we're talking about boycotts of Bud Light, how about this? If you don't agree with it, maybe you agree with the folks who are doing it.
I do want to add, though, before we move on, it is the Cincinnati area. So not Columbus this time. You got us with the Columbus thing earlier today, but apparently it's just running rampant in Ohio.
I tried to sneak it in. You wouldn't let me. Ohio's a big state, multiple large cities.